Imagine you're one click away from Australia, but which state will reach back first? With a visa nomination? Some states are quietly handing out invitations to fill urgent skill gaps. Others are picky gatekeepers. If you pick the wrong state, you might wait months. But pick the right one and your pathway, 190, 491, or an employer-sponsored route, can move much faster. Below, I'll show which states are currently the most practical for sponsorship, why that matters, and a step-by-step plan to improve your odds. What easy actually means. Easy isn't magic. It's the intersection of A. Whether your ANZ SCO occupation appears on a state's list. B. How many nomination places that state has. C. Whether they actively invite offshore applicants or prioritize onshore or regional workers. And D. Employer demand for your skills, employer sponsorship versus state nomination. The Australian government's skilled occupation lists and the visa rules set the baseline. States then add their own filters and allocations. Top states to target, practical ranking plus Y. 1. Victoria. High nomination places and active ROI system. Why it's attractive. Victoria runs a large, structured nomination program with many allocated places. Victoria had 3,400 places allocated for 2025 to 26, including 2,700 for subclass 190. They actively run a registration of interest, ROI, process and publish detailed nomination rules and invited occupations, which makes it easier to know your chance and to prepare a competitive ROI. If your occupation appears on Victoria's lists and you submit a strong ROI, you have a measurable route to nomination. 2. New South Wales, NSW, big economy, steady demand for many professions. Why it's attractive. NSW has explicit skills lists and targets core sectors, health, ICT, engineering, construction. NSW accepts both onshore and offshore nominations depending on the stream and often prioritizes occupations tied to clear state shortages, so applicants in those fields can be invited more quickly if they meet the criteria. NSW's published lists let you check eligibility before investing in assessments. 3. Queensland. Clear occupation lists and regional routes. Why it's attractive. Queensland publishes a clear QSOL, Queensland Skilled Occupation List, and seasonal updates. They actively manage offshore and regional invitation streams. If your ANZ SCO occupation is on QSOL and you follow the state's registration process, you can be a realistic contender for nomination. Queensland is also open to both onshore regional applicants and offshore applicants for specific occupations. South Australia, friendly to targeted applicants and graduates. Why it's attractive. South Australia runs multiple nomination streams, including for SA graduates, regional employment and offshore applicants. They invite only the most competitive ROIs, but their targeted streams mean applicants with local ties. Work in SA or niche skills can get priority. SA is often recommended for people who can show a commitment to living in the state. 5. Western Australia, WA. Employer-driven but useful for job offers. Why it's attractive. WA's state-nominated migration program is strong when you have an employer contract in WA. It accepts employer-sponsored pathways and state nomination linked to local employment. If you can secure a WA job, often with a 6-month minimum contract, WA can nominate you under state or employer streams. This makes WA practical for applicants able to land local work. Other notes: ACT, NT, and Tasmania often have niche or regional lists that can be very useful if your occupation matches their needs. Sometimes those regional or territory routes are faster because they have targeted priority occupations, core visa pathways to consider, and which states control nomination. State nomination, subclass 190, permanent. You must be nominated by a state or territory. Each state sets occupation lists and selection criteria. The Federal Department of Home Affairs still requires an eligible occupation, skills assessment and invitation. Provisional regional nomination, subclass 491. State nomination for skilled work in regional areas, often easier if you're willing to live or work regionally. States publish dedicated regional occupation lists. Employer-sponsored, e.g., subclass 482 or employer. Nomination scheme 186 if you have a job offer. Employer sponsorship can be faster. Some states will only nominate applicants who already work in state, e.g., WA's focus on a valid contract. How to pick the best state for your profile. Checklist. 1. Check the national and state occupation lists. Confirm your ANZ SCO. Code appears on both the Home Affairs Skilled List and the Target States list. 2. Read that state's nomination page. Requirements. ROI rules, allocation numbers. Know if they favour onshore, offshore, graduates, regional workers or employer-sponsored applicants. 3. Get your skills assessment ready. Most states require a positive assessment before invitation. 4. Submit an EOI in Skill Select and choose your preferred states. Then lodge any state-specific ROI, e.g., Victoria ROI. 5. If employer-sponsored, secure a job and a contract that meets state rules, e.g., WA minimum employment period. 6. Be flexible with regional options. Regional nomination, 491. Can be faster and less competitive than Metropolitan 190. Practical tips to improve chances. Short. Boost your Skill Select points, English score, work experience, partner points. Tailor the ROI to state priorities, e.g., emphasize industry experience that matches the state shortage. Consider short-term work in Australia, if permitted. To become eligible for onshore streams many states prefer. Track state program updates. Lists and allocations change each year. Quick summary. The takeaways. Victoria and NSW are top choices for sheer nomination capacity and clear programs. Queensland and South Australia offer well-defined occupation lists and targeted streams that reward the right fit. Western Australia is excellent if you can secure local employment. Employer sponsorship plus state nomination often moves faster. Always confirm your occupation on both the federal skilled list and the specific state list. Prepare a skills assessment and submit an ROI EOI tailored to the state's priorities. Australia's visa sponsorship landscape isn't about luck, it's about strategy. Each state operates like its own small immigration system, with unique priorities, skill shortages, and nomination rules. Applicants who understand these differences succeed faster. Victoria and NSW offer the broadest opportunities due to their large allocations, while Queensland and South Australia reward applicants who match their targeted skill needs. Western Australia, on the other hand, becomes one of the quickest pathways when a job offer is secured. The real secret is alignment. When your ANZ SCO occupation, points, work history and commitment perfectly align with a state's economic needs, the path to nomination becomes smoother, quicker and far more predictable. Those who research state requirements, prepare strong EOIs, ROIs, and remain flexible, especially toward regional streams, are the ones who turn long waiting periods into real invitations. In the end, choosing the right state is not just a preference. It's a strategic decision that can determine how quickly you step into Australia's skilled migration system. With the right selection, preparation, and timing, your Australian dream becomes not just possible, but achievable.